This conference will now be recorded.
So, hi everybody. If you have questions, go ahead.
Hello, Francis. How are you?
Hi, Gayatri. Hi.
Hi. Francis, sometimes, something is going on, but we can't really pinpoint the underlying reasons or what are we to do in this situation. And, to talk to a being who is awake, maybe they can just sense something energetically and, guide you, because something feels very, very difficult, but I really don't know what to, do with it, the situation. I don't want to use my head in it because, the head really can't compute anything out of it. Everything just goes silent, and I feel I don't know what is the best thing to be done.
Could you be more explicit about the situation you're talking about?
Well, the outer things seem to be, difficulty in dealing with people that are, they're very close, but their way of dealing with things is just to not be upfront, and that feels very uncomfortable. But when you try to explain it to them, of course the person doesn't even see it as a problem, and then the situation just becomes very difficult, and that's just the starting point. So obviously you have good intentions, you don't want anybody to feel hurt or anything, but practically I don't know why certain things are manifesting the way they are. I feel like everything that happens is happening to sort of for your own awakening, to sort of wake up out of things. And so we want to take the best steps in anything. I don't want to react, I don't want to respond from a negative place for anything. So I feel a little stuck. For me, the easiest thing is to, speak to somebody directly if there is any need for that. But some beings don't like that. I don't know. I've tried to explain that, dishonesty and, speaking to me through 10 different people and asking them to sort of kind of lie, kind of tell. It makes it very, very uncomfortable, to deal with that. I don't know why this situation is here. Today I just sat down and I was at a standstill, and I just felt there are people that you've deeply trusted in your life, and it kind of felt like complete standstill, like a rug has just been pulled out from under your feet, and you don't know what to do with it.
You cannot trust people. You can only trust the self in people. It's a mistake to trust people.
So how do we proceed with that? Because yes, somewhere there is an innate trust in the goodness, and probably that is the goodness of the self.
Trust the self in people, not the people.
How do you do that? How do you make that separation that you're talking about? What is the way of acting?
The people are the body and the mind. And the body and the body-mind is limited. The self, the awareness behind the body-mind, is the real person you are dealing with. So the idea is to talk to the real person, to the awareness. Not to the body-mind, not to the limited entity. Talk to the infinite awareness in people.
How do you do that?
By being clear about whom you are talking to. Are you talking to a finite, limited person? Or are you talking to the infinite awareness in them? To this intelligence which is hearing your words as you speak? You know, when we talk to that which can understand what we say. In other words, we talk really to the awareness in people. But our words get distorted if we believe we are talking to a separate person, because then, although we want to talk to that which can understand us, in fact, we are talking to that which cannot understand us. The body-mind cannot understand. The mind can comprehend, but the mind cannot understand. The mind has the power to comprehend, which means to gather together all kinds of information. But the understanding is a different step. The understanding is the dissolution of whatever information has been gathered together in the all-knowingness of our presence, in our intelligence, in the universal intelligence. So comprehension is a faculty, belongs to the mind. Some minds are able to comprehend a lot of information. Some minds don't have this ability. But only awareness understands. Awareness is the same everywhere. So there are differences among human beings in their comprehension, but they all share the same awareness. In other words, you want to speak to that which understands. Now you have to make sure that what you are saying can also be comprehended by the channel. So you have to be aware of the obstacle to the comprehension, depending through which channel, through which body-mind you are talking. But ultimately, you are talking to that which is going to understand.
So we are not automatically talking to awareness itself then?
No, we are always, you are talking to awareness, because when you are talking, you want your words, your thought to be understood, right? Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to talk.
Yes, right.
So therefore, obviously, you are talking to that which can understand. And only awareness has the power to understand. So if you believe that you are talking to a person, to a limited channel, then you are not talking to awareness. You are talking to the wrong person. So in your communication, you have to understand that you are talking through the body-mind to the awareness. So the body-mind through which you are talking, body-minds come in various widths. You know, it's like shoes. The minds come in different size, comprehension sizes. Some are wide, some are narrow. So you have to be careful that the message can go through the channel, but then the message is not for the channel, it's for the awareness which is universal, which is not limited. So you talk to the wisdom in people, you talk to the love, you talk to the intelligence, but you have to adjust the way you talk to the channels through which the message is going to be conveyed.
By address the way, you mean that communicate in the way in which that channel will be able to understand whatever is their method of understanding.
Yeah, and you have to be aware of the obstacles that your message is going to have to overcome in this channel, in this body mind. So that you have to tailor your message, given your information you have about the channels through which you have to convey your message. But that's not the most important, because that is a skill that you will acquire through experience, and that you already have, we all have acquired that. For instance, you don't talk in the same manner to a 4-year-old child and to an adult, because you tailor your speech to the child and you tailor it for the adult. That refers to the different channels through which the message is conveyed. But ultimately, whether you talk to a child or to an adult, the final destination of your message is going to be the same awareness. So in a sense, as you speak to an adult, try to speak to the child which is behind this twisted body mind. Speak to the innocence and be yourself childlike and speak to the childlikeness in them. At least try, see what it does for you and for them.
Francis, how do we make sure that we are talking as the awareness? I've understood that we have to talk to them
The
as if they are.
the moment you give it an honest try, you are talking as awareness. That's how you make sure. You see the purity in you, that you are conducting an experiment in awareness. And by trying to establish your communication on that level, which is the level of awareness to awareness, not the level individual to individual, person to person. So the moment you make an honest try, an honest attempt to establish the communication on that level, awareness to awareness, self to self, that's it. It comes from the right place because of the honesty of the attempt you are making. So that's very easy to check. Because what am I doing that? What's the reason behind trying to communicate in this way with that person? Am I trying to communicate in this fashion with that person because I expect to gain something personally from this communication? in which case you are not conducting the experiment. You are not being honest. Or am I genuinely trying to conduct an experiment? In other words, am I genuinely open to the possibility that I am not a person, a limited person, but rather than I am this universal awareness, which implies that I am not talking to a limited person either, but that I'm talking to the very same universal awareness there. That's very simple. In order to conduct this experiment, I have to at least to suspend my belief to be a separate person. And it is in the honesty of the act. The question is, am I making, what is my goal? Am I really conducting an experiment because I want to see how it goes? Or do I have a personal interest because I want to achieve a specific outcome through my interaction? Am I honest or not? That's very simple. I mean, I think I have cut this carrot for you, transversally, longitudinally, and in all dimensions. I don't know what to say more, Gayatri.
Yes, that makes sense, Francis, what you're saying.
Okay, so let's go.
Yeah, we just have to check ourselves. That means that's clear.
I don't want to answer that further. I don't know what to tell you more, Gayatri.
No,
I'm
I
out
understood.
of sorts. I'm out of sorts.
No, I understand what you're saying. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hey, Francis Piros.
Yes, Piros.
So last we talked, you helped me see the idealist view and the realist view. And I'm going to ask this question with the knowledge that I don't like philosophy, I don't study philosophy. Nonetheless, this has become a philosophical issue. So, I came to the understanding of I amness being beyond the physicality of the world. Hence, I lived the realist view as a scientist most of my life. I mean, as quantum mechanics taught me that there's more to I am to me than the materialistic particles, whatever you want to call them. So this view of the idealist, which I had no idea about until I did this differential comparison of nature of perceptions in dream and awakeness and wakefulness, and I realized that they're all the same. So you pointed out that I need to be in the not knowing, and so contemplating that, to me, then the not knowing, what I take it to be is that I know that I am, but I have no freaking idea what I am. And that's all there is to that not knowing. There is nothing more to it. I always am. The not knowing is I don't know what I am.
You don't know what you are phenomenally, because ultimately we are not a phenomenon. Our real self, our reality, is not a phenomenon. So in that sense, yes. We don't know what we are because we could be potentially anything, right? Also.
Correct. Exactly. So not knowing is a form of knowing, that's what I am, knowing.
Yes. And when we say This is a question there are various questions about what we are. Because there is a question, what am I? There is the question, why am I? And there are the questions, how am I? These are slightly different questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so out of this question, the question, what am I? Because I'm not an object, I am an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer to this question is, I am that, or rather, I am this, and I am this and that, which are one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the answer to the question, what am I, is the immediacy of our experience.
Yes. Yes.
Then we use words for that, such as the immediacy of our experience, but it is the answer to the question, what? Now, the question how is different, because the question how doesn't refer to the essence of the object, but rather to its qualities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So regarding phenomena, we have phenomenal qualities, such as in case of physical objects, we can say the size, the color, the mass of the object, the electrical charge, whatever, you know, the spin number, and etc. So in the case of physical objects, we have all kinds of answers to the question, how, in fact. Now, if you say that I don't know what I am, that's true, as I have said. But it is not true to say, to make the statement, I don't know how I am. I don't know my qualities. Because I know some of my qualities. For instance, to be aware is one of my qualities.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
But I don't know it through the channel through which I know that this flower is red, that it is a flower, and that its weight is 30 grams. No, I don't know that in the same way.
I agree. It's a very direct thing. It's the immediacy of me and being aware.
Yes, but nevertheless, it refers to one of my qualities.
Okay.
In other words, it doesn't answer the question, what am I? Because the question, what am I? The answer is, I am this and that, and they are the same right now and always. So, because I am an experience, but how am I? You know, so then, oh yes, I am aware. That's one quality. And there are other qualities of my I amness. And such as I'm real. Now, I am real implies also I am being, which implies also I am that which is, which implies also I've always been and will always be. So all these qualities that I've just mentioned, for some of us are hidden, They are nominal qualities.
Mm-hmm.
For some of us are hidden by the belief, by the residual belief to be a separate entity. So the reality of our being, its infinity, its independence, are also nominal, other nominal qualities of what I am. They are very much like awareness. And there are other qualities: peace, love, happiness, beauty. And these qualities also are hidden by the unawareness of our true nature. In other words, by the belief to be separate and limited. Some of these qualities get revealed through glimpses. The most important quality that gets revealed through glimpses, the most important glimpse is a glimpse of our reality and infinity.
The expansion. So that's the expansion that's felt. This
reality, our independence from anything
else. Mm-hmm.
And that's a liberating glimpse versus a glimpse of love, a glimpse of beauty, a glimpse of intelligence. These are not necessarily liberating glimpses. But nevertheless, intelligence, love, beauty are nevertheless nominal qualities, meaning qualities of that which I am.
Yes.
So to say that I don't know what I am is true, because what I am is this experience, but it is not true if it means that I cannot have access to qualities of what I am. In other words, that I cannot know my qualities.
Perfect.
I can know my qualities. Some qualities are evident for all beings.
Mm-hmm.
Some qualities are hidden veiled by ignorance.
Okay, so if one or two of these qualities overshadow all the others, does that mean that the residual ignorance or unawareness still is operating? Or I guess to put it the other way, is it a absolute necessity to? You have told me this before. You have to go all three ways or all the ways to the truth or to the reality.
Yeah. We have to be open to the absolute so that we can really merge with it. That's
But you see, it's not a choice, if I may interrupt. It is just what happens. It is what it is. It's not that. It's not that. I mean, it's not that I don't appreciate beauty or love but the shebang of the first quality of it is the reality of it, and the expansion of it is so humbling that nothing else can be felt or seen or appreciated. Does that make sense?
All I can say is that something seems to be missing, although you have the recognition that nothing is missing.
Okay, and hope you will be able to show me that the reason is what you said the other day about feelings being nothing but bodily sensation. That has reinforced this understanding in me that, so what's the fuss about, all this fuss about being worry-free or being happy? Because these are all bodily sensations, and this body is nothing but a minuscule presentation. I mean, so tell me what's missing? And it's the truth. I mean, the past couple of days, you're right. Everything, feelings are that, just bodily sensations.
We cannot at the same time, we cannot speak from both sides of our mouth at the same time. In other words, we cannot be at the same time worrying and pretending that there are no worries.
No, I'm not worrying. I can tell you that for sure, because when I worry, I can feel it in my chest, in my top of my stomach, or in my muscles vibrating.
So then you say, what is this big deal about worries and all of that stuff? I don't know where that comes from.
It comes from the fact that when I stand as the reality and the immensity, none of this is the overshadowing that I'm talking about. So that I don't want to say locks anything, but it is so, it's got the pull, it's got the grab, it's got so much pull into it when you go into it and the depths of it. None of this other stuff really surface to even.
So then you see the teaching is there only to address some kind of worries or some sense of lack, because the only goal of the teaching is to take one to the worryless condition, to the annihilation of the worries. So if you tell me that you have no worries, I say, fine, I don't have any either. So I have nothing to tell you.
You, me, I, synonymous with no body, to have bodily sensations, to be labeled worry, i.e. not identifying with this mass here.
Well, a bodily sensation, a worry is more than a bodily sensation.
Only because it's charged with a thought, right?
It's more than a thought and a bodily sensation. It's more than that. You see, because what it relates to is to ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
And ignorance is much more than a thought or a bodily sensation.
Without a doubt. Oh, I have no doubt about that. Yes.
Okay.
I do not have any doubt about that. That ignorance is effort. You have to, it literally is an effort to be ignorant now. To be unaware, I guess. I hate the word ignorant, but yeah, it is an effort to be unaware, to pull myself out of this being reality.
But it's more than that. Because what does effort mean? For whom is there an effort? What is the nature of effort? In this case,
Is to believing being separate. Yes, is to coming out of stillness.
the effort is, in fact, as you just said, has its origin in a belief which wants to perpetuate itself through some form of activity. So the effort is a belief.
Mm-hmm.
And the belief itself, what is a belief? It's an act of will.
Yes.
Right? Because
yes,
since there is no evidence, I'm not saying that for you, but for everybody, since there is no evidence that awareness is limited, to believe that it is limited is an act of will, of awareness. In other words, it's a decision made by the universe.
Mm-hmm.
We have to understand. And the decision made by the universe is something else than a thought or a bodily sensation. The thought and the bodily sensation, in by themselves, they are just what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So unawareness, aka ignorance,
mm-hmm.
unawareness is in fact an expression of the freedom of the absolute, choosing to play this game. That it is very important to understand that. I hear some teachers say that ignorance is just made out of thoughts and bodily sensations. There's something missing there, for the very reason that I can understand, for instance, let's say I can understand Marxism without being a communist.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is Marxism is a set of concepts. Being a communist is my claim, my choice to
Mm-hmm.
declare that these concepts are true. And so in this, if there is no evidence that they are true, it's like a religion also, deciding that Jesus was born out of a virgin, right? So that's a decision which is made in the absence of evidence, or quasi-absence of evidence. So then it's more than the concept of immaculate conception, because I can have the concept of immaculate conception without at all believing in it. I don't know, as an MD, I don't know what's your position on the subject, but it seems far-fetched to me. So, right?
Yes.
So therefore, in the absence of scientific evidence, if I choose to believe that to be true, then that's an act that comes from my freedom, right? So that it's very important to understand this distinction. So going back to this worry, what we have agreed upon is that if there is worries, is because ultimately there is ignorance, and if there is ignorance, is because of unawareness. It's because it's a decision I am making as awareness to play this game.
Yes.
Just as I decide, as I decide to be a Christian, to be a Muslim, to be a Hindu, or to be whatever, it's not like the color of my skin that I don't choose, right? I'm born with it, or my gender. I have no choice. But my religion, that's a choice I make.
Indeed, very liberating. Thank you, Francis.
Hi, Francis.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. My name is Stephanie. I'm new here to your work.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi. I feel like my question is very simple. I have been noticing this last week that there's a sensation that comes up in my body, and I just get a lot of impulses to go do something else, maybe go on social media, or I want to have sex or eat, whatever it is. It's like I freak out about this sensation, and I can't, and it's hard to relax into it and allow it to be there. And I was wondering whether you could give me a hand with that.
Obviously, there is this sensation, and there is you who feel the sensation, right? You feel the sensation.
Yes.
The sensation is not you, obviously, because you were there before the sensation, you are there, you are still there after the sensation, right?
Yes.
So is it clear to you that you are not the sensation?
Yes.
Okay, no, that's a first step to establish you are not the sensation.
Yes.
Now, you are not the sensation because you are the perceiver of the sensation, right?
Yes.
You are the perceiver of the sensation rather than the sensations that you perceive.
Yes.
Okay. Let's, for the moment, let's forget this specific sensation. But let's keep what you have just understood about this specific sensation. What you have understood is that you are the perceiver of this sensation and you are not the sensation that you perceive. Right?
Yes.
That is true of any sensation you perceive.
Yes.
Right? What is good for the goose is good for the gander. So if it is true of this specific sensation, it is true of any sensation you perceive, be it hunger, thirst, pleasure. You are none of those. You are the perceiver of those, right?
Yes.
Now, it is the same of your thoughts, right? Just as you perceive your sensations, you also are the perceiver of your thoughts.
Correct. Yes.
Yes? So just as you are not your sensation, you are not your thoughts. For the very same reason, for the same, you can see that from the very same experience.
Yes.
Yes, so you are not your thoughts. Now, regarding the external sense perceptions that you perceive, for instance, the sounds or the images that you see. But let's start with the sounds. You are not the sounds that you perceive, right?
Right.
Because they come and they go just as your bodily sensations come and go. And just as you are not the sounds that you perceive, you are not either the smell that you smell or the taste that you taste, or just have two. And you are not either the images that you see. In other words, you are nothing that you perceive. You are the perceiver of everything you perceive, but you are nothing that you perceive. You are something else.
Yes.
So what you are is this awareness that perceives everything, right?
Yes.
Now, and that's the most important point. The most important point is this. Now that you understand that you are this awareness that perceives everything, but that which is not anything that it perceives, how do you know that this awareness was born in time, has a beginning, and how do you know that this awareness has an end?
I don't know.
You don't know. How do you know that this awareness is limited to you and it is not shared by all human beings?
I don't know.
Yeah, these are the right answer. You don't know. Next question. When you live your daily life, do you live your daily life not knowing? Or do you live your daily life believing that you are a woman?
I think I live my daily life believing I'm a woman.
Yeah. So, but in fact, you don't know that you're a woman, right? Because the woman appears to you. In other words, you know that you are a woman because there are certain things that appear to you.
I see my body.
Yeah, you see the body, you feel certain things.
Yes.
Perhaps when you see a baby, you feel certain things, or when you see a hunk, you feel certain things, right?
Yes.
But these things are appearing to you. So whatever appeals to you, whatever is appearing to you, cannot tell you anything about you.
Right.
If a female body is appearing to you, whatever is appearing to you tells you all kinds of things about this female body, yes.
Yes.
But it doesn't tell you anything about you, the awareness to whom this female body is appearing.
Yes.
Now, you could say, yes, but, well, this female body is different from all the other male and female bodies that I see because I see this female body from the inside, right? Whereas the other female male bodies that I see them from the outside.
Still seeing it.
What?
But I'm still, even if I'm seeing my body from the inside, I'm still seeing it regardless. Right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you say, okay, this body plays is in a different position from the other bodies because this body, I feel it from the inside.
Yes.
I perceive it from the inside, whereas the other bodies, I perceive them, but only from the outside, right?
Yes. Yes.
Therefore, because this body occupies this privileged position with respect to me, awareness,
Yes.
I am this body, I am not the other body.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's forget that for a little moment and let's apply the same logic when you drive in traffic, right?
Okay.
You are inside your car and you see the other cars outside in traffic, right?
Yes.
Okay. Of course, the perception you have of your car is different from the perception you have of the other cars because you perceive your car from the inside, right?
Yes.
And also you drive your car, whereas you are not driving the other cars. So
Yes.
your car obeys your command, the other cars don't obey your command. And you see your car from the inside. So the temperature is very different, etc. Now, all these specific and different experience you have of your car versus the other cars, according to the previous logic, the conclusion would be, well, I am my car,
Yes.
right? And of course, it's absurd The fact that I am inside my car, that I have a different, very specific perception of my car, the fact that I can drive my car and that my car obey my commands and not the other cars, there is no logical implication as a result of that, that I am my car. Which shows the falsity, the fallacy of the seemingly reasonable conclusion coming from the fact that I am this female body, that I am perceiving this female body in a very different way from the ways I am perceiving the other bodies outside. Therefore, I am this female body. You see, because if this logic were to be true, then it would imply that I am my car, which I am not, obviously.
Even though I can feel the temperature of my car and I can drive my car and I can see the colors, it's
you
not.
can feel the temperature of your body, and you can drive your body all the time as you walk.
Yes.
Or as you so therefore this argument regarding yes, I am this female body because I am in it, I am different view of it, and I am driving it, doesn't imply at all. It's a false logic that I am this female body.
Yes.
You see, so then what I am then is something, I know I am this awareness, but I have no clue as to whether this awareness is limited or not. This woman body appears to me, yes. I am the driver of it, yes. I am responsible for it, yes, like I am of my car. But that's not me. Now, let's go back to the very beginning of your question, this sensation you were having, which is a sense of lack, is a sense of something is missing, something, right?
It's difficult to describe, but only what I can see is just a sensation that I seem to react very strongly against.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Is there any fear or any desire that attaches to this sensation?
I would say fear, because I see like I want to run away, I want to avoid, like it's like it goes in panic. My system just panics.
Yeah. Now, understand that if I don't believe to be a woman, if you don't believe to be a woman, if you are just this awareness, as you acknowledged yourself,
Yeah.
there's absolutely no evidence that it has a beginning and an end.
Yes.
Now understand that the fear, all the fears we have, all ultimately they boil down to the fear that awareness will end.
That's the root belief.
The root of all fears is that there is an end to awareness.
Okay.
Therefore, I cannot help you directly with this sensation because this sensation is just a symptom This sensation is not the illness. The illness is the belief that there is an end to awareness. And I've tried to show you through this deliberate and step-by-step approach that in fact there is no evidence whatsoever that there is such an end to awareness.
Yes. What is the best that I can do to deepen this understanding?
Whatever you have understood during our conversation will remain with you, and perhaps there are things that it's like I've given you certain dots, and together we have tried to connect these dots. Then when you are on your own, you may not remember how to connect these dots, and perhaps you may not remember the dots themselves, these various things that you have understood. Nevertheless, the fact that you have understood them will stay with you.
Okay.
The teachings is always available through videos, books, etc. And therefore, even if you don't remember the dots, you will find them again and again and again in the teaching. And since you have understood them once already, it will be much easier the second time to go through the same connection. And then you go faster and faster through connecting these dots, if you will. And at some point, it will be obvious to you, it will be part of your life, that if you ask yourself the question, what am I? The natural answer that will come, the sincere answer that will come, will never be, I am a woman. The sincere answer that will come to yourself will be, I am this awareness of which I know only that it is real, that I'm not making it up. So you'll see that this understanding will then erase the fear and its symptoms.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you try to deal directly with this sensation, you know, it's like putting a Band-Aid on an infection on the skin, when this infection on the skin is simply the symptom of a systemic septic infection of the entire system. It's not going to help.
No.
What you need is an IV of antibiotics, but not a Band-Aid on your finger.
Would you have any suggestion on what I could do when the reaction happens? Like if I keep deepening the understanding that you are showing me, and then if and when the sensation and the reaction happens with fear, is there anything that I could do in the moment?
See that the fear, whenever the fear arises, and it is the same of the desire, by the way, whenever the fear arises, it's always because at that moment, you believe to be something else than awareness. You believe to be a female body, you believe to be a mind, but let's say you believe to be a female body. That's it, or a human body.
Or if I remember that at the moment, that could be helpful to get me out of
Yeah,
the.
and when you feel, sorry, Stephanie, I have to do something here. Yes, remember that, no, don't worry, because what we have talked about will remind itself to you. So all you have to do is, when you think about what you have discussed, allow for your thought to think about it and to reach understanding, and also follow your interest. If you're interested in investigating about this question we have talked about, do that on your own, investigate, but only if you are interested. If you're not interested, if you'd rather take a walk in nature, please do so, or do other things, go to the movies, feel free and in your life. And only if fear tries to get a hold of you, then understand that fear is taking a hold of you only because in this moment you believe to be something else than awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And that there is no good reason to believe that way.
Mm.
Or to believe that awareness is going to end.
Yes. Really awesome, for lack of a better word. I'm gonna let this all sink in. Thank you so much, Francis.
You're welcome, Stephanie.
Hello, Francis. This is Farzad.
Yes, Razat.
A little bit left over from our last two conversation from Ajna to Sarsara. Once I understood this jump is understanding of awareness. And the second, I understood that I'm having experience of awareness without the object. What is left is my desire that the cup get broken from the crack. So my question is, this desire is obstacle, or this desire will take me to liberation from ignorance?
This desire comes from ignorance because you believe to be an ignorant person. An ignorant person is still a person. Ignorance is to believe to be a person. I'm not saying that you are always in ignorance or in unawareness, but when we have the desire to get rid of ignorance, at that moment, somehow we believe to be in ignorance.
I understand. Okay. Thank you, Francis. You
Hi,
wanted to add
Francis.
something?
No, that's okay. It's sufficient.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Francis.
Yes,
Can you hear?
Hi.
Hi.
Please.
I have a question about. I'm stuck in this problem to be more a mystic than into this non-duality. I can't jump over the cliff to say I am this. I understand that everything is interconnected and there is no separation somehow, but it seems to me that this guy is appearing in this God's mind, so to say, and will die someday and will disappear. And this is a bit difficult. And my question is about.
Okay. Let me address that.
Okay.
You say this guy is appearing in God's mind.
Yeah.
Well, this guy is appearing to you, right? To your awareness.
Yes. Yes. Yes, of course.
So your awareness is God's awareness, right?
Um, actually, I can't see this because
Okay. Then if you say, my awareness is not God's awareness, okay? Let's start from there.
yeah,
That's where we are.
yeah,
You agree that's where we are, right?
yes.
Okay. Would you agree that everything you know it through Essim's awareness?
I have to think a bit about this. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay? So then, when you talk about God's awareness, either you talk from hearsay because other people talk of God, or you talk from your imagination, but you don't talk from experience. My
No,
question
but
to you
yeah,
is, when you talk about God awareness, are you talking from hearsay, from hypothetical possibility, or are you talking from experience?
I'm talking more from hypothetical and I say to God, you can say to it also universe.
No, but we are talking about God's awareness, right? You
Yes,
make
this
the
is
claim there is
hypothetical.
God. You made the claim there is God awareness, different from Essim's awareness. Okay, that's a claim you made. Now, my question to you is: are you making this claim from experience, or just as a nice imagination, like there are little
Imagination.
gray men on the planet Mars,
Imagination.
underground? Imagination. So what can I say? It's a free country. You can imagine what you want.
But this I am, for example, if there's only one I am, and I am this I am. For example, I am this I am is disappearing if in the deep sleep, for example, isn't it disappearing?
No, there is awareness in deep sleep.
But
Awareness
how
never
can I realize
disappears.
this? How can I realize this if I cannot remember? I cannot recollect.
But you cannot, because the fact that you cannot remember is not evidence that there was no awareness. I mean, that's a total fallacy. For instance, if I ask you exactly 1 year ago, exactly day for day, hour for hour, minute and per minute, what were you thinking at that time?
Yes, this is impossible to remember.
Does it mean you were not thinking? Does it mean you were not aware at that moment?
No, of course not.
So the fact that you don't remember objects, your thoughts, doesn't imply that you were not aware.
But isn't it like this that we only can remember objects?
That's true.
But how
But
can
the
I
fact,
realize this awareness because it is not an
but
object?
you didn't object. You didn't claim that there was no awareness a year ago,
No, no, no. Of course, yeah.
but you don't remember.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so that which applies to 1 year ago and you don't remember applies to the deep sleep. The fact that you don't remember objects of the deep sleep, just as you don't remember the thoughts 1 year ago, doesn't imply that you were not aware. But there is more to it. The fact that there are no objects doesn't imply that there is no awareness. Because
Yes.
there is awareness between objects.
I thought that
Objects of perception change. And awareness is a continuum that unites all the perception. In the Indian tradition, they say it's like the silk thread that unites the pearls of the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful metaphor, because if you think about it, while the silk thread penetrates the pearls, the silk thread is invisible. Only the pearl is visible. The silk thread that unites the pearls is only visible in the interval between the pearls. And this interval between the pearls is extremely tiny. Almost nothing, 0 millimeters. So in the same way, the awareness is that which unites all the perceptions. Each perception is like a pearl on the necklace. And the interval between two perceptions is so tiny that the thread that unites them is almost invisible. But in other words, it seems that no time elapses between the pearls, because for us to have the experience of time, we need perceptions. In the absence of perceptions, there is no experience of time. It doesn't mean there is no experience of awareness, because awareness doesn't equal time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Time, the experience of time requires awareness, but the experience of awareness doesn't require time. How long does it take for you to know that you are aware experientially? It's immediate, doesn't require time.
Yeah. Is the deep sleep a state, or is it in this experience of being human? Is deep sleep a state, or one of
Well,
this?
yes, we have to be precise here, because we have to define deep sleep. If you define deep sleep as the experience in which no objects are present,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
then it is the experience of pure awareness. It is what they call in India Turiya meaning the fourth state. It's not a state. It's not a state. It's the thread that goes through all the pearls, right? Now, in this necklace, you can have pearls of 3 colors. Let's say pure white, beige, and gray.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 types of pearls in this necklace. And in this metaphor, the white pearls refer to external sense perceptions, the beige pearls refer to bodily sensations, and the gray pearls refers to thoughts. Now, you can see that the intervals between those are independent from whether we are awake, whether we are asleep. Okay. Now, during the dream part of our human experience, the night dream part,
Yeah.
what happens is that during the night dream part, the white pearls are not present. In other words, the external sense perceptions are not present.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hear the world around us, right? So it would correspond, in my metaphor, to a part of the necklace in which there are no white pearls. There are only gray pearls and beige pearls.
Mm-hmm.
And so during the dream part of the night, we move from one to another. Now, in order to have some story, some dream story, we need to have some continuity between the pearls. In other words, we need to have a long enough series of beige pearls followed by a long enough series of gray pearls.
Mm-hmm.
If the gray and beige pearls are mixed together at random, there is no story there. It's just something that, because there is no story, we cannot remember anything. So that
Mm-hmm.
would be a part of the night that would correspond to what is usually defined as deep sleep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But in this case, there are still pearls, there are still perceptions. So it hinges on how we define deep sleep. Some people, some teachers even, define deep sleep as just the absence of perception whatsoever, meaning the intervals between the pearls. A better definition of deep sleep is the third state during which there are incoherent bodily sensations and images in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the definition that is traditional, used both in Western neuroscience, if you will, when the deep sleep state is a state which has some duration with some specific types of electrical signals in the brain. And so also in India, where there are the three states, waking, dreaming, deep sleep. And Turiya is the fourth state, the thread that unites all the pearls of the necklace.
So the death is not the exact same state as deep sleep. Being dead.
As I said, it depends how you define deep sleep. I don't
From
like
the
it
concept.
personally. I don't like it very much when teachers, who may be good teachers, define deep sleep as Turiya, confuse deep sleep and the fourth state and the pure consciousness. But there is a legitimacy to that, as was evidenced by my first representation of the necklace, which was independent of the mix of white, gray, of beige pearls, in which deep sleep is simply understood as the interval between the pearls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is very encouraging. Thank you very much.
Then there are only two states. There is a state with perceptions and the state without perceptions, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Because then the distinction between dream and waking is irrelevant. Now, if we make a distinction between dream, waking, we have to make a distinction between then dream, waking, and deep sleep. And then the fourth state.
And death is more the fourth state, we could say.
I prefer, it depends both views. I mean, these are models.
Okay.
You have to be precise how to define the models. As you have a model with two possibilities, either there are perceptions, no matter what they are, or there are no perceptions. And I define deep sleep as zero perceptions.
Okay.
Then we are in deep sleep during the day, because between two perceptions, we are in deep sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Or we connect deep sleep to the dream, to the night, and then we have a three-state: waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and we have all the intervals. Then in this case, we think more about the distribution of the pearl between white, beige, and gray during the different periods of the day and of the night.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you.